Good morning, Britain. Security alert at the palace.
So I'm very sorry to say that it is good evening for me for the time being, as I think that was probably a controlled explosion in the background.
The dramatic moment, a controlled explosion on a suspicious bag, is heard as a man carrying a knife was arrested after throwing shotgun cartridges through the gates at Buckingham Palace just days before the King's coronation.
Well, police sealed off the area here around Buckingham Palace, then locked it down before carrying out that controlled explosion on that suspicious bag that was owned by the man.
Meanwhile, overnight, a first glimpse of the historic procession, which will lead King Charles to Westminster Abbey as thousands of members of the armed forces rehearsed in central London.
Ban on cold calling to stop the scams that cost victims hundreds of thousands of pounds.
How could someone be so cruel? Nobody should have to go through having to deal with scammers.
Well, his face and name used in hundreds of scam-related crimes, so find out how Martin is helping in that fight back against fraud. Plus, it is Wallet Wednesday.
Wallet Wednesday.
And Martin's here answering your money questions throughout the morning.
Yeah, energy firms are sitting on up to £7 billion of your cash. I'll tell you how you can claim money back and why now, today, is the perfect time to do it.
And a Hollywood ending for Wrexham as film stars and footballers unite to celebrate promotion with an open-top bus parade.
Rob and Ryan they've done marvellous. The place is buzzing.
Feeling warm with spring sunshine today. The outlook, though, turns more unsettled. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Wednesday, 3rd of May, 2023, live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid and Martin Lewis.
Good morning, Britain. It has just gone 6 o'clock. How are you feeling this morning?
Well, I'm feeling very well, but I'm more interested in how you're feeling, because you sent me a message last night when you read I'd tweeted that I was doing my prep for the show,
yes.
Hard work on examining the energy direct debit cycle so I can try and save the nation millions, if not billions of pounds.
And we're so grateful for you.
And you tweeted... You tweeted, I'm hanging out with Duran Duran tonight.
Yes.
Hope to get to the studio soon after.
Yeah. Do you remember 2 weeks ago on this programme, John Taylor sat next to us on this very sofa in the corner and said, oh, Susanna, I know you're a massive fan of Duran Duran. Got tickets for you to see us at the O2. And so off I toddled to Julie, as a Duran Duran fan of many years standing, to the O2. And there he was at the after-show party. And do you know what John Taylor said to me last night?
What did he say to you?
As I walked up to him to say, thank you very much indeed, John. It was a terrific show. He said, I didn't think you were going to come. I didn't think you were going to come. You get up so early in the morning. I said to my wife, that's Susanna Reid. She did an interview with me the other week. She gets up at 3:45. There's no way she'll make it. And as we left, right, me and my friends, Steve and Chris...
Left at what time
morning.
was this?
As we left, Steve said to me, he said, your 15-year-old self would not believe that John Taylor said to you at a party after watching Duran Duran, I didn't think you were going to come. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Whereas my 15-year-old self would have probably believed that I'd sat up spending the night working on the energy direct debit cycle, to be absolutely fair.
Well, you did say to John Taylor when we interviewed him 2 weeks ago, Susanna was basically swooning over you lot, and I was doing my maths homework.
That is true.
Yeah.
Although I had my moment, similar moment, because the one I had quite a difficult teen years. But the one thing I loved was athletics. That was my sport that I loved and adored, and I was a big statter on athletics. And then I got to be the volunteer presenter at the World Championships of the athletics in the stadium, in the Olympic Stadium, as it was.
And
that was my moment. And I met my heroes, and I was there. I was commentating or presenting on the athletics, and I just thought, this is what I want my 15-year-old self to know. It'll all be OK. You'll get there, and look what you get to do and what you love. So it's a lovely moment, isn't it?
It was a phenomenal moment last night. And I got plenty of sleep, so don't worry. I'm fully on top of everything this morning, if you want to sing along.
Listen, or you only need 2 hours, don't you?
Yes, that's all you need.
All you need is 2 hours,
That's all you need.
Well, I've got some important stuff on today, just very quickly.
Yes, of course.
As it's Well It Wednesday, just to say what I'm going to be talking about, because there's quite a lot of timely stuff happening at the moment. For anybody aged over 66, I'm going to be talking about pension credit. There's 1 million eligible pensioners missing out, and unless you claim it very soon, you won't get the £301 cost of living payment that you're entitled to. So we'll be going through who's eligible for pension credit and why you should check it. And as I mentioned in the headlines, the energy direct debit cycle. I mean, this week is literally the perfect time to check if you've got too much energy credit, and I'll be talking you through how much is too much, and we'll be doing that after 7, that one, and pension credit a little bit before. So lots of really important money stuff coming out today. Because
you don't want the energy companies having your money.
Well, 7 billion quid is the estimate, up to £7 billion of our money they are sitting on, and at this, you know, some of it, at some points in the year, you want to be in credit. But as I'll explain later, this point, you don't.
No, really important information coming up. Our main news this morning is that police have carried out that controlled explosion outside Buckingham Palace last night and arrested a man with a knife. It's a major security alert, just days, of course, before the King's coronation. The man was carrying what police described as a suspicious bag and was detained after throwing suspected shotgun cartridges into the palace grounds.
Also overnight, thousands of members of the armed forces took part in a rehearsal for Saturday's historic coronation procession between Buckingham Palace and Westminster Abbey. In a moment, we'll speak to Jonathan Swain at Wellington Barracks, but first to our chief correspondent, Richard Gaisford at the Palace. Richard, a security scare, but this wasn't a terror incident, was it?